few things you can guarantee in life: death, taxes, and Seth crashing the drone.
I wrecked the drone. I've done that 3 times.
Dirk is NBA legend, Hall of Famer, top 5 power forward of all time for sure. No doubt, hands down.
Dirk Nowitzki is 7 feet tall. Think about that, 7 feet tall. He's a tall dude.
He's a monster. He's a giant.
Didn't your parents at one point talk to the pediatrician about trying to stunt your growth?
That is true. We went to go to the doctor because it was getting a little uncomfortable. I was way into 6 feet already at 11, 12.
If not for the fact that he was 7 foot tall, you would not think he's anybody. He's humble, nice, and fun to be around.
We had everything set up. He rolls in, ready to sit down, but before he does that, our crew's 10 or 11 people, and he goes around to every single person and says, "Hey, what's up?" and shakes their hand or gives them a fist bump. So you can't hate Dirk. It's impossible to hate Dirk.
So can you still recite all the lyrics from a Shaq rap song?
I actually can.
You can? All right, let's hear it.
How did you know that?
We do our homework.
It was called "What's Up, Doc? Can We Rock?" I'm a hooper, hyper, protected by Viper. When I'm not a hooper, you better decipher. You better make some funky decisions, because I'm gonna be a Shaq knife and cut your position.
So there's always a tricky part of every interview where there's a really sensitive topic that Graham needs to bring up, and for Dirk, that was reflecting on this time period where his girlfriend at the time was arrested on fraud charges.
You can just feel when somebody doesn't want to talk about something. Graham has to ask about these things, but just know in those moments behind the camera is a whole crew being like, oh.
To all of a sudden have my private life all out in the open was something completely different, and I was super embarrassed about the whole situation.
And you applied for custody of a kid that didn't exist because she said she was pregnant.
Yeah, correct, which we didn't know at the time.
Right.
So.
Can you imagine if you're on the brink of marrying somebody only to learn that they aren't at all who they say they are after they get arrested? That'd be devastating.
It's an interesting part of his life, one that I think shows that everybody's human. Whether you're a star athlete, there's weird that happens to people, right? It's how you overcome those mistakes that I think really is why people gravitate to stories like that.
This could have happened to anybody. It just happened to me. It was just a mistake, and I got to learn from it.
Charity tournament was a lot of fun. There's high-profile people at this celebrity tennis tournament of Dirk's. So Graham would just kind of go do his thing and introduce himself, and then all of a sudden it's, "Hey guys, we're getting Ben Stiller right now." And then it's all of us are like, "Oh."
I heard he recruited you by DMing you on Twitter way back when.
Yeah, that's what happens on Twitter when you follow somebody. I'm a big fan of his. I was excited to hear from him. I mean, he's the nicest guy in the world. We developed a little friendship, and we just stayed in touch. And I'm such an amateur, I started playing tennis like 10 years ago. So I didn't really know what I was getting into the first time, because it's a lot of athletes, but it's like not a lot of celebrities.
Hey, Dirk!
Gonna teach him a lesson on his work.
I got to see Ben Stiller and kind of direct him and kind of where I want him for the little short interview. I thought that was kind of cool. It's like, oh yeah, I directed Ben Stiller and told him where to stand.
Do you think Ben Stiller's gonna watch this?
There's a lot of good moments from this Dirk shoot. I think my single favorite moment was when Graham and Dirk were playing tennis together. They had started to just kind of do a little warm-up, right? And Graham is kind of not looking good, and then they decide to play a little game, and Graham ups it a little bit and actually shows that he is semi-athletic, and Dirk clearly notices.
What? You've been holding back?
Yeah, right. If that impressed Dirk, then he has a very, very low bar.
feel like your tennis skills have gotten better?
No. And I actually will occasionally play tennis recreationally, and I, still suck.
Graham's tennis skills definitely looked better with Dirk than he did with Novak, that's for sure.
You're supposed to be an encouraging coach.
I'm not Djokovic. I'm gonna hit you with the spinner.
Oh, screw this.